Good evening. Welcome to the Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth. Well, it's been an interesting weekend so far. Here we are right now, and we're coming on Wednesday. There are a lot of things going on. Judge Amy Coney Barrett is now an associate justice for the Supreme Court. The race for the presidency is continuing to move forward. Some of the lies are continuing on right now as well, and cover up of things that are going on, and trying to act as though these things don't matter, and they do matter. The American people are not stupid. They see what's going on. They see the cover up. Now, this first story that I'm going to share with you today, it's a little note I got out of One American News. CDC recently reveals hospitals counted heart attacks. Hear this? Hospital counted heart attacks as COVID-19 deaths. Remember I told you before, what happened to all the flu deaths that normally kill a lot of seniors? What happened to all of them? There's only 60,000 per year. When did that change? When did that change? Answer is, it hasn't changed. We had the shortest flu season in history. But to me, it's a big lie. The flu season didn't change. The number of deaths didn't change. They just linked it all in with COVID-19. Now, you see, the CDC had said before that only 10% of those deaths were actually fully COVID-19 anyway. The latest numbers from CDC reveals hospitals have been counting patients who died from serious pre-existing conditions as COVID-19 deaths. One America's Pearson Sharp has more, as the CDC counts over 51,000 patients who actually died from heart attacks as opposed to the coronavirus. And what did I tell you? Now they talk about 200,000 deaths, 51,000 here see the heart attacks, 60,000 flu deaths, which brings it up to 111,000 people died of other concerns other than COVID-19. What does that tell you? The numbers do not support the science. They're a big lie. But of course, we know this is all the left-wing media, the fake news that are pushing these narratives. This is a very sad thing, and this is still going on even now today. In Ohio, officials discussed results of Operation Hope. The U.S. Marshal Service has recovered dozens of missing and exploited children in Ohio as part of an anti-human trafficking operation called Autumn Hope. In a press conference Monday, Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost announced that 45 missing children were recovered and more than 100 human trafficking victims were found and referred to social services. In October, the FBI in Cincinnati was one of over 50 agencies to participate in Operation Autumn Hope. Law enforcement partners in Ohio rescued 109 human trafficking survivors and recovered 45 children, as we said earlier. Additionally, nearly 180 people were arrested. The operation was conducted in various counties over the course of 1 month, with the help of more than 50 federal, state, and local agencies. We need law enforcement, people. These people are trying to defund law enforcement. Please do not vote for them next week. Quote, some of the people you're going to hear from don't wear a badge, stated Yost, but they carry a helping hand and a toolkit to help the survivors of human trafficking to try to reclaim their life. Sheriff Dallas Baldwin of Franklin County said he apprehended 8 individuals, including a pastor and a rehabilitation resident advisor who had allegedly traveled to Ohio with intentions of having sex with minors. Oh, Lord Jesus, help us. Meanwhile, Sheriff Jerry Green of Mahoning County detained 14 individuals who were alleged involved in online chat rooms seeking underage children. Boy, this world is getting sick. Green said those individuals were charged with felony counts of importuning and attempting unlawful sexual conduct with minors. Reports have cited investigators also filed charges for alleged crimes related to sex trafficking, parental kidnapping, and the possession of drugs and weaponry. Our message is quite clear, stated Sheriff Green. If you're using the internet to try to exploit or take advantage of underage individuals, we want it to be in the back of your head that you may be talking to one of us. And hopefully you will be talking to one of us. 45 missing children were recovered, as I said earlier, by U.S. Marshal in our Operation Autumn Hope. And over the past 5 years, USMS has recovered missing children in 75% of the cases it's received. Of those, more than half were recovered within a week, within the first week. Officials with Operation Autumn Hope have said they will continue to be vigilant in tackling the issue of human trafficking and urge other states to do the same. And I'm sure we will do here in Texas. But we're going to take a short break right now. You're watching The Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert.
To every single mother, every small business owner, every farmer, every cancer survivor, and every woman out there who has ever been put down by the establishment, it's time to stand up. On November 3rd, we need you to write in Ola Hawatma on the ballot under New York 19th Congressional. Make history in the New York 19th District with the first woman to win by a write-in. Don't just vote. Make history on November 3rd, 2020. Write in Ola Hawatma.
Dr. Melinda Morris supports a strong economy, safe neighborhoods, limited property taxes, and promotes an improved education system. Dr. Melinda Morris wants to improve access and insurance coverage for medical care. Dr. Morris is pro-life and will support right-to-life legislation in Austin. Dr. Morris will remain true to her values when she is elected to office. She is going to Austin to promote life, prosperity, and personal freedom for the constituents of Senate District 13.
Welcome back. You're watching The Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth. Texas governor, he's deploying National Guard for sites in cities for Election Day. I can't blame him. There are always talks of the radical left, BLM and Antifa, and all these people are threatening action if President Trump is reelected, along with the Democrats saying that we have some additional arrows in our quiver. Miss Nancy Pelosi. What does she mean? What is that? And Chuck Schumer threatening the senators. Chuck Schumer also threatened the Supreme Court justices as well. Remember when they were doing a review for the justice that was just born, and his name escapes me right now, but he was threatening in front of the Supreme Court. They should have locked him up for that. The Texas National Guard is set to be deployed in multiple Texas cities on Election Day. Governor Greg Abbott, Republican of Texas, had decided to send 1,000 troops to polling stations across the state in preparation for potential unrest following election results. Among the cities include San Antonio, Dallas, and Austin. Democrats were reportedly upset to hear of the move because they believe it will be used for voter suppression. See the foolishness? They're accusing the governor now of voter suppression. How are you going to suppress the vote? He just wants to keep people safe. You see how these streets have been with these people in BLM and Antifa hurting people, beating people up, shooting people at times. However, officials have reiterated that troops will be used only to deter any civil disturbance by the Democratic BLM and Antifa. This is really a wonderful piece of news. The Democrats need to take this in their pipe and smoke it. Trump supporters in Israel participated in a car envoy to Jerusalem. Dozens of people in Israel have shown their support for President Trump's re-election. On Tuesday, American Israelis living abroad participated in a car envoy which made its way to the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem. Trump 2020. Trump supporters were seen honking their horns, waving the American flag, and carrying pro-Trump banners. The president has had a major influence in Israel as he recognized Jerusalem as the nation's capital and moved the U.S. Embassy there. The country has many American Israeli citizens who are registered voters in key battleground states, and their vote could be a deciding factor in the upcoming election. Now, President Trump did the correct thing. Now, I've spoken many times about what I feel about President Trump, and one of the things I feel about our president is that he is part of God's plan. I'm a Christian. This is a Christian on the station. He is part of God's plan. I'm not saying that I'm excited about where things are going, but I know that it's going to take us home eventually because we are in the end times, people. When you see peace in the Middle East and things coming around like it's coming around, that's prophecy. Look at Revelation. You think I'm joking. But that's prophecy being fulfilled. And I look forward to that day because God is returning. And as I said earlier, you're watching a pastor who's doing a Christian political program. I'm a conservative Christian, just like Amy Coney Barrett. And she is now seated on the Supreme Court. Hooray for her. Well, we're going to take a short break. You're watching the Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert, CTM News Network, the voice of truth.
I'm Greg Raths. As a veteran, current council member, local businessman, I know our community. As your congressman, I'll fight to reduce healthcare costs, keep our cities safe, and our communities healthy. Our jobs protected, our economy growing, and our nation defended. Orange County is a wonderful place to live, work, and raise a family, but together we can make it even better.
Vote Greg Raths for Congress.
I'm Greg Raths, and I approve this message.
While America's cities burned, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris fanned the flames, refusing to strongly condemn violence, supporting bail funds that help let rioters, looters, and dangerous criminals out of jail.
Joe Biden's silence speaks loudly. He doesn't have our backs.
In Joe Biden's America, we'll all be in danger.
President Trump will keep America safe.
If you support the police, support Donald Trump.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Welcome back. You're watching the Black Conservative Voice here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth. Yes, the voice of truth. Well, we got a good story here coming up right now. President Trump is nominated once again for a Nobel Peace Prize in 2021. The president has been nominated for another Peace Prize, this time for his work with North Korea. This marks the first nomination for President Trump for the 2021 Nobel Prize Award season. The president was nominated by national security expert Dr. Peter Pry, colleagues for his work in de-escalating nuclear threats from Pyongyang and deterring nuclear war. President Trump has been nominated 5 times this year so far, though 4 of those nominations were for the 2020 Nobel Peace Prize. Okay, so this is a new one for 2021 upcoming. Then so we have a president that is about peace. He wants peace in the Middle East. He wants peace in this nation. He wants to keep our police and our military strong so that they can maintain peace. People left to their own regards, people with no leadership, no authorities above them, this place will be, it'll reap havoc. Those people who tried to defund in those Democrat cities, tried to defund the police department, have suffered the consequences of their foolish actions. God places the authority. I'm sorry, you might not like it, but he places the authority, and he placed the authority there for a reason. Because he knows that this world is wicked. So we need our police officers, we need our law enforcement, we need all the leaders, judges, courts, and everything. We need these people to keep safety in this country, to keep our country safe, to keep our borders safe, also the Border Patrol. Efforts to recall California Governor Newsom has more support than ever. More support than ever. The latest effort to recall California Governor Gavin Newsom is heating up, with well over 500,000 signatures already collected. One America's Pearson Shaw spoke with organizers who said this could be California's last chance to remove Newsom from office. Then it's a tipping point, Kara McKinney discusses a prayer rally to be held in defiance of California Governor Gavin Newsom. In case you don't know what the case is there, we have a governor in California, the state of California, that's telling people they cannot go to church. If they go to church, they have to they can only have so many people in the church, they have to set apart, and they cannot sing. How are you going to worship God and you're not even allowed to lift your voice in? So a lot of people took to the beaches, and they're worshiping God in the open air. Just as our president continues his rallies in the open air. Let's be real, people. Let's talk about this for a second before I move on. Let's be real. Are we going to live our lives in fear over COVID-19 or whatever other disease or nerve gas, all kinds of stuff that's in this world that can kill people? Are we going to walk around in fear wearing our masks in the open air? Give me a break. You cannot protect yourself from hidden enemies. You might think you can, but it's already been proven that masks do not protect you. You can wear them if you want to keep droplets of spit or whatever away from yourself, but they don't protect you. You can wear a gas mask. Now, that might protect you. I think it would look kind of foolish people walking around with gas masks, but you can wear that. That has its own respirating system. But as far as these N95 or any other masks, they don't protect you. And that is the science, people. That is the science. I'm not saying disobey the laws, ordinances in your state, but I'm saying the science says that it doesn't protect you. Some people go around making these fashion masks and different masks. Even Trump his campaign has a mask. He's going along with it. He's having some fun with it. But the science, as the Democrats continue to say, says that they do not help. Matter of fact, they can even hurt you. Because when you even go to take your mask off, if you don't wash your hands, the germs or whatever, COVID-19 germs, or what other germs, can also get on your face and get under your skin. So unless you walk around with plastic all over you, it's such foolishness. It's really foolish. You can it's like a false sense of security. And a lot of people want to be secure, so they walk around with this false sense of security, walking around in the open air with masks. To me, it looks so foolish. You see people sitting in cars alone by themselves with masks on. What good is that doing? You're breathing your air. If you're infected, you're infected. You're gonna reinfect yourself. Ugh, such foolishness. But they still are talking about masks. The science proves that it doesn't help. Proved it back when the SARS epidemic was happening, back when Obama bombing them. Proved it then, and it still proves it now. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back with you. You're watching the Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert.
Dr. Melinda Morris supports a strong economy, safe neighborhoods, limited property taxes, and promotes an improved education system. Dr. Melinda Morris wants to improve access and insurance coverage for medical care. Dr. Morris is pro-life and will support right-to-life legislation in Austin. Dr. Morris will remain true to her values when she is elected to office. She is going to Austin to promote life, prosperity, and personal freedom for the constituents of Senate District 13.
To every single mother, every small business owner, every farmer, every cancer survivor, and every woman out there who has ever been put down by the establishment, it's time to stand up. On November 3rd, we need you to write in Ola Hawatma on the ballot under New York 19th Congressional. Make history in the New York 19th District with the first woman to win by a write-in. Don't just vote. Make history on November 3rd, 2020. Write in Ola Hawatma.
Welcome back. You're watching the Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth. Trump's sanctions could give Biden a bargaining chip if elected in talks with in the deal he's talking about with Iran. In case you don't know, President Trump is putting additional sanctions on Iran. The Trump administration imposition of new sanctions on Iran may have been intended to forestall a new nuclear deal with Tehran if Joe Biden's elected president, but it could backfire instead of strengthening Biden's hand at the bargaining table. So pretty much what they're saying is the new sanctions, Iran may suck up to Biden if he becomes president. Who wants Iran on your side here? The ones who are haters of Israel and haters of pretty much everybody else. So we don't want that. We don't want China. We don't want Iran. We want people who are ready to come to the table, negotiate peace, as some of the Arab nations are. Not people like our Democrat Party here in this country who refuses to hear anything other than their own voice. Now, how many of you saw the different hearings and stuff? I like to listen. I redeem my time. I redeem my time. Give me a break. God is a redeemer of time. You don't redeem nothing. I redeem my time. I keep my time. When people go to answer questions, they were doing these things with Amy Coney Barrett of recent days. Of course, she was smart. She didn't say nothing. She let them talk. You want to hear what I got to say? You got to let me speak. And she spoke very well. And I'm very proud of you, Judge Barrett. You did a great job. You're a young woman, but you're a wise woman and a great judge. The U.S. Treasury Department on Monday slapped counterterrorism sanctions on key players in Iran's oil sector for supporting the Quds Force, the elite paramilitary arm of Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. The move just before November 3rd U.S. election follows sanctions on 18 banks in Iran that Washington imposed earlier this month. Biden supports returning to diplomacy with Iran. Give me a break. If it comes into compliance with 2015 nuclear deal Washington struck with Tehran and 5 other world powers, they're not going, Biden, such foolishness. They're not going to come into a lie. They lied before. What makes you think they're not going to lie again? Democrats. They want to impeach President Trump again. Adam Schiff in California already talking about if he gets reelected, people don't elect him back. Already talking about if he gets reelected, he's going to seek impeachment again against President Trump. For what? I don't know. They're going to find some stupid thing to waste our taxpayers' money on. Then they go on to say doing that could eventually add some 2 million barrels per day of Iranian oil to the world markets that have been cinched off by President Trump wider unilateral sanctions on OPEC members. Analysts have said Monday action was among moves by the Trump administration attempting to make it harder for potential Biden White House to lift sanctions. Well, I don't think that's true. I don't think President Trump even freaking cares about Biden's White House because he ain't going nowhere near the White House. He might invite him to come sit on the lawn and hear his victory speech, but I don't think he's going anywhere near the White House. If he does, I think I'm going to be moving to another country. But then again, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that, because the leader, the true leader of the free world and the world that's not so free is our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. He's in control. It seems clear that one of the primary reasons for yesterday's action was to try to make it more difficult for the potential next generation. But like I told you before, this is a JCPOA, Peter Hurl, former State Department official and supporter of Biden, referring to the nuclear deal. Yeah, he's a supporter of Biden, as you can see. Okay, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back with you in a moment here on the Black Conservative Voice.
I'm Greg Raths. As a veteran, current council member, local businessman, I know our community. As your congressman, I'll fight to reduce healthcare costs, keep our city safe, and our communities healthy. Our jobs protected, our economy growing, and our nation defended. Orange County is a wonderful place to live, work, and raise a family, but together we can make it even better.
Vote Greg Raths for Congress.
I'm Greg Raths, and I approve this message.
President Trump made a promise to protect our Social Security and Medicare. He kept that promise, and he always will. Today, Social Security and Medicare are strong, and under President Trump, they will never be cut. President Trump is protecting pre-existing conditions. Prescription drugs are more affordable. The cost of insulin is going down. Under President Trump, our benefits and our health care are safe and secure.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Welcome back. You're watching the Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth. Well, Biden, they say it could remove Trump's new sanction by executive order. He would pay a price, though. The new sanctions do not create a legal barrier to relieving sanctions under Biden, said Henry Rome, a senior analyst of Eurasia Group, a consultancy, which means that even though he tries to lift sanctions, if he happens to get in, which I doubt very seriously unless they cheat, that's about the only way. Still, the new sanctions could provide ammunition to congressional critics who might say a Biden administration was glossing over Iran's support for terrorism if it sought New Deal. Now, like I said before, they can say whatever they want, but the U.S. Treasury on Monday blacklisted Iran's Ministry of Petroleum, the National Iranian Oil Company, and the National Iranian Tanker Company, alongside other individuals and entities. The move freezes any U.S. assets, those blacklisted, and generally bars Americans from dealing with them, which is a good thing. People keep forgetting that they were the terrorists that killed all our people on 9/11. That's where they came from. At least two of the entities, NIOC, NITC, had already been sanctioned under the different legal authorities as the Trump administration carried out maximum pressure policy on Iran. The U.S. is sanctioning Iranian entities that have already been sanctioned under the phony charges, he said in his statement. This is this knucklehead from, he's a spokesman for Iran mission of the United Nations, Larissa Mirayousafy, or whatever it is. So, U.S. National Security Advisor admitted that the U.S. has out-sanctioned itself. Well, I don't really think so. I think we need sanctions. It's already been proven that sanctions do help when people are trying to force their will on the American people here in this country. People, I get upset about this all the time, but this is the United States of America. But for quite a number of years, As President Trump said, a lot of the places like Ukraine and some other places, he has reduced funding to those places because what the Democrat government and those leaderships were constantly giving taxpayer funds to other nations, like Iran to rebuild after those things that happened there, and other countries that are enemies to rebuild. Why are we rebuilding other countries that have attacked us? I don't know. I never understood that about our country, but that's the way it is. Well, if you want to advertise, if you have a small business or a campaign, you want to advertise for next year, I know there are many mayoral candidates coming up and some governors. Please, we're here. Our rates are very low, and if you want a contract or if you want to sign and see our rates, please email us at the email address underneath, and please contact us. You'll be amazed at the business you'll receive from dealing with CTM News, the voice of truth. Our program here is viewed by at least 15 to 22,000 people per episode. And I can say hello to everybody, all our viewers out there. Our viewers in Texas, California, New York, all over the place. I mean, Florida, we have viewers in Florida, and our biggest viewership is here in Texas. But it's just great to be on and to be able to express a conservative view from my point of view. And I want to thank CTM for allowing me the opportunity to come on here. A lot of conservative news people or conservative talk show hosts are being silenced, as they say, or canceled in different areas and social media. But I thank God for CTM News. Once again, I want to thank you for joining us here on the Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert. Hopefully we'll see you next time here. We're on Monday through Friday, normally at 8:15 Eastern Time, 15 p.m. Eastern Time, 7:15 Central. So once again, I'd like to thank you for joining me. I'd like to say, as I always like to say, God bless you, God bless America, and God bless the world. Once again, this is David Colbert from the Black Conservative Voice saying good night and God bless.
Do you care about Black lives? I do. And unlike the people that currently run Baltimore, I actually have a plan to make life better for Black people here. Walk with me. I want you to see this. I'm Kim Klasick. This is Baltimore, the real Baltimore. This city was once among the most prosperous, populated, and powerful cities in America. So what happened? Our leaders abandoned us and Baltimore fell into ruin. But it doesn't have to be this way. None of this has to be this way. A broken Baltimore does not have to be our future. And that's why I'm running for Congress, because I see the city differently. I walk the streets of Baltimore and see what could be. I want you to see what I see. I see Baltimore that picks up trash. There are piles of garbage all around Baltimore. It makes life unsafe for our families. I'll work with city leaders to get Baltimore's Solid Waste Bureau the resources it needs to take out the trash. Our streets should be a reflection of our leaders. Clean, not dirty. Much of our trash gathers in abandoned homes. There are over 17,000 abandoned buildings in Baltimore. They are a scar on the face of our city. I will support tax credits and incentive programs to give residents a chance to buy and rehabilitate these homes. Everyone deserves a safe community and a chance at home ownership. Let's put the charm back in Charm City. Who will live in these homes? The newly employed constituents of Baltimore City. This district needs more jobs. The best way to get them is by having businesses invest in our community. The Tax Cuts and Jobs Act gives federal tax incentive to drive private investment into opportunity zones just like Baltimore. Who will work in all of these new jobs if we don't have an educated workforce? 9 out of 10 Black boys in Baltimore are not reading at grade level. Over a dozen high schools in Baltimore have zero students proficient in math. This is a tragedy. We can end the school-to-prison pipeline with school choice, providing parents with options to escape schools that do not serve our children. Let's leave Baltimore better for our kids. Isn't that the point? That's my vision for Baltimore. The corrupt leaders hate it. They attack me for taking a stand, for wanting better for our people, our children, our communities. But I'm not the only one who wants better. Tens of millions of you have shared the struggle of Black people in Baltimore. You lifted our voices. You cared about our Black lives more than our own Democrat leaders. They have done nothing for us. Now they can't hide. It's time for change. We are that change. I'm Kim Klacik, and I'm running for Congress because I actually care about Black lives. All Black lives matter. Our communities matter. We matter. And Baltimore doesn't have to vote Democrat.